Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hi, this is Tammy Patzer, and I'm pleased to introduce you to our guest today, Michelle.Pettway. She is the 2016 president of the Women's Council of Realtors in DeKalb County. She's the owner of Real Estate Systems Training Institute and the managing broker of Michelle.Pettway and Associates, PalmerHouse Properties. Welcome, Michelle.
Hello, how are you, Tammy? Thank you so much for having me on the show.
I'm great. I want to start out by letting you just tell me a little bit more about yourself. Give me a brief thumbnail sketch of your background and why you got into real estate.
Well, I actually started in real estate from college. I worked for a company called Own Your Own Properties while I worked and put myself through college. And so that's really where my real estate background started. And then I kind of finished school. I was a history major, and I moved from New York to Georgia and got involved in property management. And it just kind of actually cycled me back around to a career in real estate.
Oh, so you've been involved in the property management, real estate, and then you're also the owner of Real Estate Systems Training Institute, which is an educational school, correct?
Yes, I actually teach here in Georgia the real estate pre-license course for those looking to get into real estate, and I also teach the broker pre-license course as well as some continuing education.
Oh, okay. So you do the teaching, and then you're also the managing broker of Michelle.Pettway and Associates, PalmerHouse Properties. What type of properties do you typically represent?
I work with both buyers and sellers, and I do everything from short sales to luxury home sales. So I actually still do sell. My portfolio for myself is limited as I refer most of my business to my team so that I can focus on being a good broker for my team and the education aspect of my other business. I take very limited clients, but I do both work with buyers and sellers, and I kind of run the gamut on it.
So what would you say is the area of business that you're the most passionate about?
Oh, it's definitely education. I am very, very passionate about education and training. I honestly do feel like to be successful in any field, you have to stay educated about what's going on. And with the world as ever-changing as it is right now and technology kind of taking over the scene, I definitely think staying on top of whatever trends are happening in your industry is important. So education for me is what I'm really, really passionate about.
So with the education, you teach all of the pre-licensing courses. Do you also do the continuing education courses?
I do. I absolutely do. I actually write my own continuing education classes.
Oh, wow. That would be interesting. So what are some of the topics that people in the real estate industry need to have in order to get the continuing education credits?
Well, here recently in Georgia, we've had in the last couple of years some changes to our continuing education criteria. So just a couple of years ago, we were required to have 24 hours every 4 years, when we renewed, and that now has increased to 36 hours of continuing education, which I think is great. And one of the things that you have to do, one of the requirements that you have to meet is having a licensed law class in there as well. So that is one of the classes that I offer through my school is licensed law, because now there's a requirement that you take it every 4 years when you renew your license. And then I teach other stuff on top of that. I teach contracts classes because, our contracts change just about every year. And even when they don't change, you'd be surprised how many people fill out contracts and really have never read it. So I teach contracts, and then I also teach a lot of technology.
I think it's funny. I'm sorry, I chuckled about the contracts not being read, but I really do think that is probably one thing that where a real estate professional can help people say, hey, read this contract, and
That's
then
right.
they can point out the little details and nuances that are really important to people. So I wanted to ask you about real estate in general, because sometimes you meet people and they really don't think it's very important who you get as your agent, as long as they get to see the property. What are your thoughts about that perception?
Well, I do think it's very important that you know who you're getting. First of all, I highly recommend that you get a Realtor, and that is someone who's been through the ethics training that is required to become a Realtor. And that means also that that person is a member of the National Association of Realtors, as well as their local board and their state board. And this just helps hold agents to a higher standard when it comes to working with the consumer. So I think your agent matters. And then definitely you want to find someone who is educated, not just got a license and then barely takes any classes, don't understand the ever-changing market. So I do think your agent matters. I think experience and knowledge go a long way, and I absolutely believe that you should look for a Realtor who is a part of the National Association of Realtors, just because they're held to a higher standard.
So tell me a little bit more about how you're different than your competitors. Obviously, you have this rich background because you're an education provider. But other than that, how would you say that you're different than your competitors?
Well, I'm different from my competitors in one major way, and that is that I do not consider myself a real estate agent. I am an entrepreneur. I am a business owner, and actually everybody who works for me on my team has that same philosophy of thought, or they would not be on my team. So we take a little bit more pride in our transactions and how we handle things. We take it even more personal because this is a part of our business. And I don't think enough people really I think people like to say, well, I'm self-employed, I work for myself. But are you really a business owner? Do you really have an established business that you are running? And because of that, I have to keep my doors open. I have to keep staff paid, things like that. So I work really, really hard to provide an excellent level of customer service, and I make sure that my agents do too, because we are, at the end of the day, running a business.
So what are some recent business accomplishments that you're the most proud of, and why?
I think the one that I received in 2014 for Entrepreneur of the Year, I think that was my biggest business accomplishment. And the second thing was I launched a coaching program where I'm actually coaching people on entrepreneurship. And so I'm really excited about that. And my goal is to help 250 people in the next 5 years become entrepreneurs, and I'm about 20 people into that right now, into that process since I've launched the program a couple months ago. So I would say those are my two biggest things I'm proud of.
Well, that's a really great goal, to help 250 people become entrepreneurs, and that you're 20 into it. That's really cool. I want to stay on this for a little bit. What are some of the leadership qualities that you admire most?
In myself or other people, or just in general?
I would say in yourself and in other people and in general, because leadership, since you are the president of the Women's Council of Realtors, I would imagine that obviously you are a leader for so many people and they look up to you. So what are your leadership standards?
Well, I mean, for me, I try to, one of the things I want to do is I want to always be open to other people's ideas. I think that a leader can
only grow and be good if they're open to listening to the people around them and listening to other people's ideas. No leader knows everything. No leader understands everything. And I think when you build a team, like the team I have with the Women's Council, they all bring something very unique to the table. And so what I try to do is really challenge them to bring out their best ideas, their best solutions for any situation, bring it to the table, and then I try to incorporate it so that they know that I value their opinion, their expertise, so I don't just listen to what ideas they have, but I want to incorporate what you know, what your idea is, what your plan is, so they know how much I truly value them. And I think that any good leader will do that for the people who work alongside them.
So what has been the key element of your success?
Well, now we're getting into a different aspect of my life, and that I'm going to have to say that's God. That's hands down the only answer I can give you is that I am a spiritual woman, a prayerful woman, and I think that any success that I have obtained and things that are coming to me in the future really come through first and foremost prayer, and then just doing the work. Because I think, like the Bible says, you can pray, but if you don't work, there's no fruit. So I work hard. I really do. But I pray first. I ask for guidance and direction. And when I get that guidance and direction, I listen to it, I follow it, and I work. I work hard.
That's really good advice. So prayer with action or personal action, and you listen to the guidance that you get.
That's right. I listen when I ask God to order my steps, and I ask Him for blessings and to lead me in the direction He would have me go. I have to listen for His voice. And not just listen, but take action when He presents something to me, no matter how confident I may not be, because He'll put something before me, and I go, oh, God, I don't know if I can do that. And then I say to myself, where's your faith? And you prayed for this, so you just take this action and you do it. And that's been the path, and that is the path. That will stay the path.
Good. So stepping forward with the faith that you're doing the right thing with that guidance. I'm going to direct us back to talking more about real estate and buying property, because I want our listeners to get some good advice from you, since you do have a lot of experience. So what would you say are the most important things someone buying property should be, what they should know?
Right. Okay, so I think the biggest thing you should know is a couple things, actually, when you're buying a property, is don't just consider, and this is for consumers looking to get into the market and buy a house, when you are considering your budget for a house, even though your lender or banker may tell you this is how much you qualify for, please also consider that other things come along with buying a home. You are now, if you were previously renting, more than likely your landlord was responsible for repairs and things like that. Know now that you will carry full utilities. You will carry, depending on where you move, an HOA, a homeowners association fee. And you will have repairs possibly that you will have to make to your home and things like that. So consider your total budget and take those things into consideration as well. I definitely don't like to see homeowners go into a house and they're very happy to get their house, and then just a couple months later they're cash poor because they just didn't understand all the things that came into home ownership. And even before you purchase, the other thing I would say if you're in the market is protect your credit so that you don't have any challenges when you're trying to purchase a home. Protect your credit. If your credit is already challenged, then get with someone or actually just read the laws and go to the different websites. In fact, they show you how to dispute things. There's ways you can work on things on your credit on your own without paying somebody to help you with your credit. But if you need that assistance, get it. But those are my two big things for somebody looking to get into the market and buy a property.
So make sure that you look at the expense of being a homeowner is a lot more than just having a mortgage payment every month.
Correct.
and then to make sure that you work on your credit so that when you decide it's time to buy a home, you can get pre-qualified or pre-approved, I guess, actually.
Yes, pre-approved.
So that you can get the home you want. In the area where you're at right now, is it a buyer's market, a seller's market? What's happening in the marketplace?
It truly is a seller's market right now. We have very low inventory, and home prices are on the rise, so it is definitely a seller's market for us right now. Sellers are receiving multiple offers probably hours after putting their house on the market.
Wow. Well, that's good for sellers, and it means that a buyer has to be even more prepared probably than they would have had to have been in the past, because now they have to compete to get the home of their choice.
That's why I said make sure your credit is good, and if you can, save some money so that you can be competitive when putting in an offer, especially in the Atlanta market.
Can you talk a little bit about luxury properties versus the common market homes? Are there differences when you're selling in a luxury market?
Really, I think people make more of a big deal out of it than it actually is for the most part. I think I have agents that I train and coach, and they go, okay, well, we in our industry, we tend to call people. We do cold calling, we do expired listings and force of owners. And when agent gets to a certain price point, right about at $1 million, all of a sudden the 7 figures looks a little scary and they feel intimidated by it. But what I tell them is just remember they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like you do. What is different is the maybe the level of marketing or the money you will have to invest into it. Sometimes when you go into the very high-end marketing, $6 million, $7 million, $8 million, even sometimes less than that, you may want to have aerial shots taken. Those things cost a little bit more money, so you have to consider the marketing that you will do with your luxury home. And, I was just having a conversation with somebody this morning. A lot of times we do agent open houses. Those are things we do in your standard inventory home. But, when you get to your high end, then you're kind of more into an evening event, maybe wine and cheese and things like that. So the cost may be a little different. The marketing may be different. But overall, the objective is the same. I need to sell my home. And just like you have to present yourself as a professional when you're selling somebody who's selling a $100,000 home, you're going to do the same thing with somebody that's $1 million home. I don't think there's any different. There should not be a difference in who you are. You should remain professional wherever you are on the tier.
I think you're absolutely right. So I wanted to ask you about any upcoming projects with the Women's Council of Realtors. Is your group doing anything in the community in the future?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's one of the things that I said that I was going to oppose when I became president, is I definitely wanted to make sure that we got involved in community service. So right now we have a drive going on where I've kind of adopted Hosea Helps, and that's an organization where Hosea Feeds the Hungry, started by Hosea Williams and now run by his daughter Elizabeth Omalami, where they collect and feed the homeless and hungry, but they do so much more than just feeding them. They collect clothes and toiletries and supplies. And so right now our organization is in the middle of a toiletry drive where I am asking people to drop off toiletries by my office, and we'll collect them and take them over there. We've also raised funds for them and made cash donations. So that's kind of our charity organization for this year.
Wow, that's phenomenal. So through the Women's Council of Realtors, you're actually working in the community to help feed people, clothe people, and to help them with their personal hygiene needs and everything. That's really a wonderful program. So if somebody were to stumble across our interview today, do you have one or two things that you would like to say to a prospective client?
To a prospective client, buyer or seller?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I guess what I would first and foremost say that if you are in the market to buy or sell a home, we would definitely love you to contact our team here in Atlanta. We work all throughout Metro Atlanta. The major counties are covered. So I have agents in Cobb, DeKalb, Fulton County, Gwinnett County, Walton County. So we have the major areas covered, and we have agents who specialize in everything from short sales to luxury home sales. So whatever you need, we can accommodate your needs. Not to mention, I'm a part of a larger organization with over 1,300 agents. So if I need to reach out to someone else with expertise, I absolutely don't mind doing that if it means I get a great job done for my client.
Oh, that's phenomenal. So where can we find out more about you and your services?
Okay, so I am on all social media. You can find me on LinkedIn at Michelle.Pettway. My middle name is Denise, Michelle.Pettway, Pettway. So I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram as Michelle D. Pettway, and I'm on Google Plus also as Michelle.Pettway. So you can catch me on those 4 platforms. You can also email me anytime at info, I-N-F-O, at restinstitute.com. That's R-E-S-T, institute.com, and that stands for Real Estate Systems Training Institute. And I also have a business page under that name. So anybody looking to get for a career in real estate in Georgia or anywhere, because actually I offer the online course for 22 states throughout the United States. So if you're looking to get licensed in any state, just give me a call or visit my website, which is restinstitute.com.
Oh, that's really interesting. So you actually you said 32 different states. You
22.
Can do the 22 different states that you can do the real estate pre-licensing education. That's really a good information.
Just go to my website, and you can get that information.
Okay, great. Well, I really appreciate you sharing with me today, and I'm really impressed with the work of the Women's Council of Realtors. That really is a phenomenal thing they're doing in the community to help all of those people, and that is really something that all of us should think about is, what can we do to serve beyond, our businesses. And so I think that is phenomenal. Thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing all of your information today.
All right. Thank you for your time, and thank you for the interview. I appreciate it.
This is Tammy Patzer. Go make it a great day.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.